always asked, Narrator, what will you do when I am not around? I never answered. Until today, I don't have an answer. I will, with God's help,
you more details
take care of Mommy and the three kids.
Posthumously honors the gallant men whose sacrifice will forever be etched in our history.
We'll miss writing with you, laughing with you, sitting with you whenever you had a lull in your schedule. We'll miss talking about our future, hearing your advice, you driving us to school all the time, especially when we had exams. Daddy, why did you have to leave us so soon?
Later, we'll bring you details of a developing story where the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations has imposed a daily fine of 10,000 Ghana cedis on MultiChoice Ghana, the operators of DSTV, for failing to submit critical pricing data requested under the Electronic Communications Act. Well, this fine takes effect from Friday, the 15th of August. More on this later. It's been a day of deep grief and solemn reflection at the Independence Square here in the capital as the nation bids a final farewell to the 8 victims of the Adansia Krofrom helicopter crash. The tragedy claimed the lives of 8 patriots, and they are Defense Minister Dr. Edward Omane Boamah, Environment Minister Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator Alhaji Muniru Mohammed. We also have NDC's Vice Chairman Samuel Sapon, NDC's 2024 Parliamentary Candidate for Boise East Samuel Abuaji, and 3 gallant crew members. Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Flying Officer Amenin Chum Ampadu, and Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah. Well, they perished in the line of duty when their helicopter went down at Adansia Krofrom in the Ashanti region on August 6th. Well, today, tributes have poured in, raw, heartfelt, and tear-filled from wives, children, families, and the state, each recalling their sacrifice, service, and the indelible mark they left on Ghana. It was even more emotional when the children of the fallen heroes took the mic. First is the children of the late Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Omane Boamah. Bringing the sound of that particular tribute by the children of Dr. Edward Omane Boamah pretty shortly. He's the former defense minister of the Republic of Ghana who perished alongside 7 others in the helicopter crash in Adansi. We can now hear the children's tribute to the late defense minister.
Tribute from the wife of Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
We'll bring you the sounds of the children of Dr. Edward Omane Boamah shortly, but now let's hear the tributes by the children of the late Environment Minister, Dr. Murtala Mohammed.
Hi there, we're good to you. We offer fast, secure, and accurate transcription for all your audio.
We bring you those sounds pretty shortly. Our technicians are working on them to bring us all the sounds of the tributes by the children of the fallen heroes. And as I've been telling you, it's been a day of deep grief and solemn reflection at the Independence Square here in the capital. And of course, my colleague, who's a presidential affairs correspondent, Maxwell Agbagba, witnessed it all. And when Maxwell came back, he told me that he's the hardest guy in Ghana, but he still shed a tear or two, as we all did. Maxwell, the president and other state officials have been paying great tributes to the fallen heroes. Tell us more.
Well, the president acknowledged the unimaginable grief the country was experiencing, and he announced some interventions that the state has put in place to alleviate the pain and suffering, of the family members. In his speech, President Mahama talked about the establishment of a fund, a children's support fund that will take care of the education of the children of the victims. It would also take care of the health of their healthcare. It would also take care of their shelter, clothing, and then many others. He announced that Stanbic Bank has provided 500,000 CDs towards that fund.
What we can do together as a nation is make sure that the lives of those who remain, specifically the children of our 8 brothers, do not become the collateral damage of this tragedy. Grief can sometimes leave us feeling helpless and disempowered. But we're far from that. So it is with all this in mind that I would like today to announce the government's decisions to honor the service of these individuals and secure the futures of those they left behind. I humbly request the spirit of compassion that is the hallmark of our nation for these bereaved families. Promotions in our armed forces are never given lightly, and posthumous promotions are the highest mark of respect for duty performed even unto death. Accordingly, I have approved the following. Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala is promoted to the rank of Wing Commander. Flying Officer Manan Chum Ampedu is promoted to the rank of Flight Lieutenant. Sergeant Ernest Adomensa is promoted to the rank of Flight Sergeant. These are not just symbolic gestures. They represent the rightful place these officers have earned in our Republic's roll of honor, and the benefits due to their families will be reflected in these new ranks. The Chief of the Defense Staff will oversee the ceremonial presentation of the posthumous promotion insignias to their families. Our other colleagues who were civilians will be posthumously recognized at the next National Honors Ceremony. The next decision that the government has made is for the creation of a Children's Support Fund for the children of the victims of the 6th August helicopter crash. The purpose of this fund is clear. It is to ensure that the children left behind will never be deprived of the opportunities, the care, and the security that their parents worked so hard to provide for them. We Ghanaians live in a culture that upholds collective responsibility, especially where community and family are concerned. Think about it. How often do we meet one another and ask about their child, and in so doing, claim that child as ours? It is common to hear us say, "How is my daughter?"
That there's President John Dramani Mahama there at the Black Star Square earlier today. Maxwell, you've also been speaking to some monitors. You spoke to Ben Dochimalo, who works with the United Nations and was an appointee of President John Dramani Mahama during his first tenure. What did he say?
Well, in recent times, we've been talking a lot about the sacrifices that public servants have to make, appointees, government appointees, and all of that. So I've been asking him that for him, what kind of sacrifices, did he make? And he talked to me about how sometimes quality time, even with your children, is taken away from you as you try to serve the country diligently. And he's been talking about some of the lessons that we can draw from the lives of the 8 gallant men.
Perished in the cause of national duty. They died serving Ghana. They died seeking to make things better for Ghanaians. And these are the sacrifices. They've made the ultimate sacrifices in such a fashion that none of us can imagine. But if there is one thing we need to do, that their sacrifices would not be in vain. Sometimes your children are denied quality time, your spouse, if you're a woman in public office, your children, your husband, you are traveling, you are denied that. The sacrifices will not be in vain. If you and I, in our individual work, can do the things that Murtala stood for, that Omani stood for, doing the right thing. Electoral processes must be clean and not be manipulated in ways that would deny the people their right. Murtala is known and his videos are there speaking strongly against corruption. Anytime you and I resist corruption, we are honoring the memory of Murtala. Anytime somebody is in need, you and I go quietly, we pay the school fees, genuine request, like the president cited at the Black Star Square, what Omani was doing for Seto. Anytime we try and help people quietly, anytime we go back to our hometowns and our villages and we help others less fortunate to do well, we are honoring the memory of Dr. Omani Boama and all the 7 other 8 who perished. And the fight against Galamsey, must be won. It is not for Omani, it was not for Murtala, it's not for the president, it is for ourselves, for our children. Everybody now knows Galamsey is damaging, destructive, and dangerous.
Maxwell, you've also been speaking to CDD fellow Kwame Sapone-Siedu, who lauded the establishment of the Fund for the Children of the Victims. What did he say?
This is the loss of one parent. Nothing can really be done to fill the vacuum that has been created, but the establishment of the fund will go a long way to help the families.
To be honest, I don't think it's happened. To start with, I don't even think I'm in the country. I'm going to the country on Tuesday just because of this, and I still don't believe that I've come to see Kofi Omani Boama off, but the reality is I'm standing next to his grave.
The posthumous promotions and the announcement of the Children's Support Fund to support the education of the children from primary to tertiary level, and also to cater for clothing and then other things. What do you make of that as well?
I think that's the least that the country can do, because, I mean, you cannot substitute a parent anyway, especially a parent that is involved in the upbringing of their children. So the least you can do is to cushion the effect of the loss, even though you cannot replace them. And I think the state has done quite well to try and do the cushioning, so it should be appreciated.
And of course, there were glowing tributes from some of the wives of the fallen heroes. We can listen to tributes from the wives of Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala and Sergeant Ernest Adomensa.
Bafemi, as I affectionately called you, was my answered prayer. From the moment I met him, my life has never been the same. My husband was a hard-working man. I have never seen a person more dedicated to his work. Peter told me he would never allow me lift a finger because he would lift both hands for us. And true to his word, I have not had to struggle for anything. Peter took care of his family just as he took care of his friends. He did everything to make sure my life was comfortable. My husband was a go-to person for everyone who knew him, sacrificing and laying down his life to come through for anyone in need. Anyone who knows Peter knows that he would go hungry for the sake of his loved ones. 2 months ago, when you held my hand in the delivery room, through the birth of our beautiful baby girl, Winle Weswamu Anala. We had new hope for our future and expectations for our family and the life we wanted her to have. I expected you to stay for at least a month to help settle into our new reality. But for the love you had for our country, you had only just a week to spend with us. Before you left, Winle held you back for an extra week because she wasn't feeling well. Now I know why she was holding you back from returning to Ghana. But for your dedication to your work, you had to make the most difficult sacrifice to go and serve your country, leaving behind a sick new baby and a mother who was still healing. Peter, 2 weeks only. Oh, what 2 weeks those were. 2 weeks of endless kisses on baby Winle's face. I have never seen a broader smile than the little time you spent with her. I did not want you to leave, but you promised me you would come rain or shine. You would return in October for Winle's christening. God, what am I going to tell her in a few years when she starts asking for her father? How do I explain the hardships she's about to face being fatherless? It was not the life we've planned for her.
The Z9 helicopter was like your first child, and in every conversation you would find a way to bring it up. You would spend long nights reading and researching on how to care for it. Amusingly, I suggested we get married on your birthday, 5th July, so you our anniversary.
Those were the emotional tributes from the wives of Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala and Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah. We can now go onto the telephone lines and speak to the Deputy Presidential Spokesperson, Shamima Muslim, who's joining us on the telephone lines. Shamima, thank you very much for your time this evening, in these trying times. And we understand, first of all, that government has called on American investigators to help with investigations. Can we get any update on that and how investigations progressing?
Well, evening, thank you for the call. I think for us, we are still trying to recover from the profundity of what has just happened today. And if you bear with us, today is not the time to speak about updates on investigations. Safe to say that the President of the Republic is fully committed to getting to the bottom of what happened. There are questions that we all have, that he also has, and to that extent, he has communicated that he would ensure an independent inquiry and investigations into the tragedy, so we can all have a semblance of closure. But please permit me to use today to express, on behalf of the President, John Dramani Mahama, his spouse, Madam Lordina Mahama, the Vice President, and the entire government, deepest gratitude to the families of our bereaved departed heroes, and to the people of Ghana for showing up and for ensuring we gave, by all standards, a befitting farewell to our fallen heroes. Today was solemn, it was orderly, it was profoundly emotional. And just as you have played, as we all sat there and empathized, many were moved to tears, not only for
Mm. Right. It is a sad deed indeed. A sad deed. A sad day indeed. I'm very emotional. I'm lost for words, Shamima. But we saw President Mahama announce the launch of a fund to help the children of the fallen heroes. How can the public contribute to that? Do I still have Shamima on the line? We have unfortunately lost Shamima Muslim, who's the deputy government spokesperson there. But we can also listen to some tributes from the children of the fallen heroes. First, let's listen to tributes from the children of the late Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Omane Boama.
Honorable Dr. Alhaji Murtala Mohammed, we called you Daddy, always together with other family members. You were larger than life itself, and this would leave a strong impression on us forever. Before we continue, we would like to find solace in the hands of God that you are alive, although gone for the desires of Allah. Every day and night, we grieve and yearn to see you back home, but you don't come back. Your legacy extends far beyond the halls of Parliament. As a dedicated public servant, Member of Parliament, Minister of State, you tirelessly advocated for your constituents and the people of Ghana.
Those were some tributes by the children of the late Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Omane Boama. We have Shamima back on the line. Shamima was asking that during the day, President John Dramani Mahama formally announced the establishment of a fund for the children of our 8 fallen heroes. And I was asking, how can the public contribute to this fund?
Right, so the announcement, as we all know, was made today. The full details will be communicated on how the fund would be administered. And I'm very sure that the public would have the opportunity to support that fund from their heart. We've already even had indications from some individuals and institutions asking how they could support that fund for the spouses. There are even suggestions to also expand it, but the announcement has been made today. The details will be clearly communicated. But for now, the government, the funeral planning committee is deeply, deeply appreciative to the people of Ghana for the love and support and the prayers that they have shown in ensuring that we give a befitting farewell to our fallen heroes.
And are there any long-term memorial plans, scholarships, or national recognitions in place for these gallant heroes?
As you heard also today, the president announced promotions for all the serving officers who lost their lives in line of duty, as should be the case. Also, we have heard the announcement of the fund for the children of our fallen heroes. If the administrators of the fund eventually make further suggestions, I think that there will be an opportunity to consider everything. But for now, this is where we are. We are just almost coming to the reality that this indeed has happened. And I guess for me, the interment is really that moment where we begin to accept what has befallen us and ready ourselves for what lessons we can learn as we heal ourselves, the family, the government, the president even, and as we still step out to perform the duties expected of us, all of us, from the president to all the appointees working with him. We look forward to the support and cooperation of the people of Ghana as we build this Ghana that we want together.
Shamima Muslim is the deputy government spokesperson. Thank you very much for giving us update on the event that unfolded today. And we can also listen to the children of Dr. Murtala Muhammad, the former or late Environment Minister, pay glowing tribute to their fallen father.
Honorable Dr. Alhaji Murtala Muhammad, we called you Daddy, always together with other family members. You were larger than life itself, and this would leave a strong impression on us forever. Before we continue, we would like to find solace in the hands of God that you are alive, although gone for the desires of Allah. Every day and night, we grieve and yearn to see you back home, but you don't come back. Your legacy extends far beyond the halls of Parliament. As a dedicated public servant, Member of Parliament, Minister of State, you tirelessly advocated for your constituents and the people of Ghana.
We can also listen to tribute from the children of the Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator, Alhaji Muniru Muhammad.
Daddy, you are more than a father to us. You are a teacher, our protector, and our greatest source of inspiration. You taught us that true strength is found in kindness, that leadership begins with listening, and that integrity is worth more than any treasure. You carried your responsibilities with grace, never letting the weight of your work overshadow your role at home.
Those were some tributes from the children of the fallen heroes who a state burial was held in their memory earlier today. And the news just coming in away from the state burial of the 8 gallant heroes is that the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations has begun applying a statutory fine of 10,000 Ghana cedis per day effective August 15th to Multi-Choice Ghana DSTV for failing to submit critical pricing information requested under the Electronic Communications Act. The Sector Minister, Sam George, announced this yesterday when he held a meeting with the DSTV team at the ministry. He mentioned that the data, including a breakdown of bouquet prices, tax components, and comparisons with at least 6 other African countries, was requested to support a meaningful engagement on reducing subscription fees for Ghanaian customers. According to the minister, Sam George, DSTV had been granted an extension until Monday, the 11th of August 2025, to submit the information but failed to meet the deadline. The regulator informed me that you requested an extension until Monday under the Electronic Communication Act. Every day that an operator fails to provide requested information attracts a 10,000 Ghana cedis penalty. I agreed to wait until Monday rather than starting charges immediately, as the difference of a few days was not critical at that stage. Now, the ministry had earlier indicated that if no price reduction was achieved by September 6th, 2025, DSTV's operating license could be suspended. Well, this followed the company's refusal to commit to lowering subscription fees despite the ministry's proposal. Now, it says that this makes it impossible to have a meaningful engagement as the data we need to justify or challenge your pricing has not been submitted. Now, Mr. George stressed that the request for information is separate from ongoing stakeholder engagement. So that's the latest news coming in that every day DSTV, their parent company, Multi-Choice Ghana, who operate DSTV, will be charged 10,000 Ghana cedis every day until they are able to meet the terms and conditions which have already been set up by the Minister of Communication, Sam George. And that's it for Top Story tonight. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. My name is Kenneth Gyasi. Up next is